Right, now I can begin. There's Mechanical Frogs here. How's it going, everyone? I hope you've had a wonderful day, or evening, or morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. It is Skaven time. So, hey Alex, hey Connor, and hey Hugh. Hope you're all having a good time. We have lots of Skaven to build, and I'm really not sure in what order we should tackle things. Especially as, Games Workshop have confirmed a small detail, and it has kind of thrown some plans of mine out the window. Yes, no, sorry, Skaven don't exist, you're correct. These are just abnormally large rats. No, we didn't do all the clan rats. They still got plenty of clan rats to do. But yeah, one of the things which Games Workshop has announced and changed since the last time we worked on the Skaven was that, the base size has increased. And I have around 220mm bases for the Skaven. And, well, I need 25mm bases now. So that's fun. But yeah, we have more clan rats to build. We have plague rats to build. We have storm fiends to build. I'm trying to remember what else there is to build. Those are the storm fiend. One. So many plague rats. What do I think about Warriors of Chaos and Fantasy? They're cool. They're not a faction fairly high up in the list of factions I want to collect, but they are still quite cool. Yeah, what do you want me to be building tonight, guys? Clan rats, plague monks, or storm fiends? So we've got 1 vote for clan reps. Can we decide with marbles? You know what? Sure. Let's do it. Why not? Screw it. I feel like using marbles on stream is a suitably chaotic way to decide anything. We still also need to work out what colour scheme we're going to paint for this game. What's wrong with the music? Oh god, this bit. Sorry, the marble music is terrible. Hopefully, he'll wake up in a moment. They tried. And Streamlabs is frozen for me. Oh, this is going to be... I can't edit or change any settings in Streamlabs because it's crashed. Huh. I'm still streaming, right? You guys can still hear what I'm saying. You're just gonna have to deal with the stream looking weird for a few moments. Catch you later, Hugh. Have a good one. Yes, Alex. I'm aware. Like I said, I can't change anything in Streamlabs right now. So Streamlabs has completely frozen up for me, so I cannot change any settings inside the streaming software I use right now to change how anything looks on the screen, or anything. I won't even be able to end the stream. So, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, Plague Monks just kind of flew out of nowhere there. Oh yeah, a polite reminder that my PC is basically dying and I desperately need money for a new computer. This is definitely a symptom of that. So yeah, any and all Ko-fi donations will be going towards making the computer usable again, because right now it's so bad that the power off button in, you know when you click power off in Windows, that doesn't work anymore. I don't even understand how that doesn't work. But yeah, that doesn't work anymore. I have to physically turn off my computer each night. It's, yeah, bad. I'm not sure what Plague Monks are doing right now. But it's definitely giving Clan Rats a chance to catch up. The Plague Monks are currently winning. Oh. Well, they made it through that obstacle without dying, which is a good sign. They're making it through that one quite well as well. Just a surprise to see. Clan Rats and Storm Fiends quite far away. So it's basically down to Plague Monks not to mess this one up. And for the Plague Monks not to mess this one up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right. Right, the question now is, will I be able to recover Streamlabs? Or will I have to restart the stream to go back to a hobby desk? These work. Oh, that looked like it work. It does look like a hobby desk. Okay. Wait, who do I praise here? Do I praise the Horned Rat? Or do I praise the Omnisire? In either case... we have some Plague Rats to build. Oh, Plague Monks to build. Lots. of plague monks to build. I really should buy Skrulk, just so I can run these guys as core choices. He's a great Horned Omnissiah. I feel like someone is going to take offense to that. Welcome back, Hugh. Right, so what I want to do is build a bunch of these with sensor bearers. Mostly because I just grown to be very much a fan of them in the Total War games. And I never ran any Plague Monks in my first Skaven army, so I'm going to have a quick look up at the rules for them. Make sure I'm building them correctly. I think I'm going to actually have to look up the army book. Good thing I managed to obtain a digital copy. And that we can get some square bases out. Hey Hamish, how's it going? I'm still incredibly annoyed that I picked up all of these 20mm bases only for like a week later for them to announce that 25mm bases are going to be the standard. But we'll still use these square bases for now. Hey Nick, how's it going? But yeah. All these square bases for no reason. But yeah, we'll tack the them on and just use them for now. And I'm just gonna have a quick look at the rules for Plague Monks. Not quite clear as to what weapon they're meant to have. Okay, what I think we might do... Hey Kermit. Is we'll do a 10-man squad of sensor bearers. And then we'll probably just build the rest as regular. Plague Monk. Also find the instructions just to make sure I'm building them accurately. Well, that would also be a good idea. Right. So, plague sensor errors. And sticks. And one turns into a plague chanter. I'm assuming that's the champion equivalent. Right, let's... I suppose this can be a good lesson in the stream, explaining why we're moving to 25mm bases for the old world because yeah, this is going to suck very, very quickly. Trying to glue them onto these 20mm bases. Yeah, I don't think this will ever be considered a controversial change. Moving them over to 25. I know some people are a bit annoyed because they have to rebase their minis, but I think it's more a frustration they have to do it now rather than it's a thing they have to do. This makes a lot more sense. Especially as, you know, there's this trend, or I suppose more of a necessity, to mount models diagonally as well on the bases to make them fit. Yeah, I will be ordering some 25mm bases to put these guys on properly eventually. Also, I'm not too well to the bases. So how is everyone doing this evening? And I do actually have a question of the evening for you guys in chat as well. And that is, when it comes to me making lore videos covering the old world, what is it you guys would like me to actually cover in particular when talking about individual factions? And yeah, I'm trying my best in terms of that to try and mute the microphone every time I need to cough, but if I miss it, I'm sorry in advance. I know it does peak quite loudly in the microphone. There's always one, isn't there? Catch you later, Alex. Space Marines in the old world. Funnily enough, at one point, yes. There's a very old tale that basically has the Ultramarines accidentally show up in Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, so in the oldie days, Rogue Trader era, when 40k was only just starting out to be a thing, Games Workshop basically wrote a little bit where blue-clad Marines carrying red cross, well, men in blue full plate armor carrying red crossbows showed up and killed. I think it was a bunch of orcs, and it's heavily implied that basically a bunch of Ultramarines got lost in the war and ended up coming through a Chaos Gate in Fantasy. But yeah, so Hugh, for example, if I were to do a video talking about lore about the Empire, what stuff would you like me to actually cover in that video? Various emperors, if I know. Yes, this is a thing with the old world, which is quite nice. Is all the information, well, all the lore about the old world is, already there. It's already established, which is quite nice. In yesterday's video, there's a portrait of 3 people I used as an image, whilst I said about how it's set during a specific point in the time of the 3 emperors. Those 3 emperors in that image I used there are the 3 emperors of the 3 different states claiming to be the rightful emperor. I think it should come as a surprise to no one, really. The first video I'm working on in terms of a dedicated lore video is going to be focusing on Bretonia. Hey Herm, how's it going? Yeah, initially the idea I had for the Bretonnian video, is like to give you guys a little bit of an insight, was I was going to cover the very basics about Bretonnia. You know, talking about like the very basics of the faction, covering the core concepts of, you know, how it's basically medieval Europe and so on, describing where it is in the land of the old world and so on, and going from there. And then doing a breakdown of the timeline up until the War Against Chaos. So talking about the key events that happen throughout the entirety of Bretonnia's history. But one of the things I've kind of stumbled with is whether or not I actually want to commit to basically reading out the timeline and explaining each step, or if people aren't going to find that interesting. My Warhammer journey started with Warhammer Total War 2, and I was baffled after reading the fantasy rule set that ambush missions were a thing. Yes, no, this is one of the things. And this is a stance which will probably never get me sponsored by Creative Assembly, but one which I am very, 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 very committed to dying on the hill on, and that is that the Warhammer Total War games are by far the worst Total War games ever created, but by far, and by a huge distance, the greatest Warhammer games ever built. Because the Total War Warhammer games basically throw everything good from most Total War games out of a window and replaces with stuff to make the feel and experience of playing Warhammer tabletop as authentic and as real as possible in the realms of a Total War game. To be honest. And on that note, Medieval 2 is still peak Total War for me. Also, I've just noticed this sensor has a little rat in the sleeve, which is very cute. Mickey, yes. There will be old kits reproduced. As to which old kits, we don't know yet. But I'm going to take a wild guess, and it's going to be a bit more... a bit of bad news, I guess, for you. I don't think Chaos Dwarf kits are going to be remade. At least for a long time. It would be nice if they were, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I think most of the older kits that will be re-released will be things like Bretonnian Peasants. I'm not sure what they're going to do about the Field Trebuchet. That's one I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle. So the old field trebuchet kit was a metal model. They have confirmed that there will be metal models again available for the old world, but will they be releasing such large models as metal models? Because if they do, this is going to be incredible and very, very interesting to see. Yes. There are many, many old metal dragon models I want to buy and want to have a go at building and assembling and painting. And I'd love to see some of them come back. Yeah, that there, Mickey, is the big question, is will they be priced as if they are new kits or not? Because if they are, this might be a flash in the pan game, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, oh god. God, the Legion, the Steel Legion do actually set a pretty terrifying precedent, don't they? Oh god, I hadn't thought of that. They are a pretty terrifying indicator for what is to come, aren't they? Oh Jesus Christ. Let us hope to be pleasantly surprised by Games Workshop in this regard. Oh yeah, I suppose I should probably be doing those YouTube things, right? If you are enjoying this stream, remember to hit like. I currently can't see how many people have actually liked the stream, but remember that's a thing you should be doing on YouTube. For those who are new around here, who aren't familiar with me or my streaming, I normally stream on Twitch, but we've been having some connectivity issues. So it's why I'm currently streaming over here on YouTube. If you are interested in checking out the Twitch streams when we do go back to them, type in !Twitch into the chat and it should give you a link to my Twitch channel. If you do want to carry on watching my streams in the future, it's probably the best way to do it. I always like your streams. Oh, thanks you. And thanks for following over on Twitch, Kermit. Yeah, so on that note, I guess the plan for this week is to just stay with streaming on YouTube, just see how things go. And then next week we'll see if we can get streaming on Twitch running again properly. Because, yeah, ultimately, you guys get a more fun and interactive experience over on Twitch. That, to me, is very important. Although I do have to say that, yeah, streaming over here and not having to worry about constantly being disconnected for some fucking reason is quite nice. Although I need to be careful swearing and avoiding certain fun words over here on YouTube. But yeah, no, the YouTube videos I've been doing have been going quite well. Been pleasantly surprised. Especially with how, like, the thing when it comes to, like, subscribers and stuff, I'm kind of surprised considering how, you know, I've kind of not even really intentionally ended up doing it. I've started focusing pretty heavily on the old world with content on YouTube just because that kind of happens to have been the direction things have gone in, rather than something I really planned. The original plan for this YouTube channel was really to focus on the Horus Heresy and occasionally touch on Battletech. But it just seems to have worked out that, yeah, Old World has ended up being a dominant thing for at least the last couple of weeks for me. You're just based, bro. Oh, thanks. What is my opinion on the Clone Wars? In what sense? Because generally speaking, I'm quite a fan of the Clone Wars era of Star Wars stuff. I'll forever be a separatist. I do think that the droids are just a bit more interesting than the clone troopers. That's not to say I dislike the clone troopers. I like clone troopers a lot. I just think the separatists are just a bit cooler. Also, they have the better memes. The Techno Union meme will forever be my favorite meme. And not just because the absolute banger of a track they use for it. The separatists were right, though. I have to remember that. The separatists were right. Is this a big red bear of old world? It kind of feels like that way. I mean, I wasn't stupid. I didn't start with 40k, realise that I'd have absolute no passion or interest in it, and pivot away from it. I still absolutely love the Horus Heresy, and until Old World comes out, it will still continue to be my main game system. But yeah, let's just put Ikit Claw there for some attention as well. Yeah, I'm also, you guys probably also know, someone who quite enjoys politics. So, whilst it, it is very much for meme, I do like episode 1 quite a lot, and I did enjoy episode 2 quite a bit as well. Public Commando is the best Star Wars game. Interesting take. To be honest, I can barely remember it. And what do you guys think of Star Wars Shatterpoint? I've tried with... I tried Shatterpoint at some time, mini supply. I haven't really had to look into it, to be honest. I'm already over the limit of game systems I can realistically afford to look into and collect armies for. Like, honestly, one of the main reasons why my partner's letting me do this old world stuff is because they really like rats, so I basically get a free pass for old world stuff at the moment. How long do skaven live? Not very long. At all. None of these skaven characters are likely going to return. Which is a shame. But it also makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I really enjoy painting as well, but like for me, I kind of have to justify to myself collecting models. So even if it's like something like, wow, I'd love to paint that mini, I won't ever really bring myself to buy minis unless I have a reason to actually have them. So if they're not something that I'm ever going to use on the tabletop, I'm probably not going to buy them. Which is one of the main reasons why I don't have any Star Wars Legions minis or Squadron stuff. I don't ever really see myself actually playing the tabletop. Whereas I know for a fact I'm going to be using these Skaven on the tabletop even before the Old World comes out, because there's people at my local hobby store who play fantasy still. So I'm guaranteed to be able to get games. This guy, Umber, right? My favourite Separatist leader is General Grievous. I mean, he's just one of the coolest guys, especially in the old Cartoon Network cartoon. One made by the guy who made Samurai Jack. That cartoon was just incredible. The introduction of Grievous was just fantastic. And yeah, this is the old Ikit Claw model. I've base coated him, ready for painting at some point. Yeah, absolutely love this old metal model. Oh, yeah, I did a Xanathal. Base coat on him. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to paint up when we get there. Is metal harder to paint? Yes, but no. So the main issue with metal models is that the base coat, the primer, doesn't stick as well to the metal for obvious reasons. And it means that paint is more likely to chip off of metal models. But otherwise it's basically the same. So when it comes to painting metal models, you need to be careful to A, make sure you use a good primer. At the very least, you should be using a spray can of like Games Workshop Chaos Black or something. A dedicated primer is a very good thing to be using. If you don't have access to it, for metal models, especially, stuff like if you live in the UK, Halford's car primer is a pretty popular primer. That stuff's very good for sticking to metal models because it's designed for cars. But generally speaking, it's just good practice to prime your minis anyway. And I guess the important thing to do with a metal mini once you've finished painting it is to varnish your mini some way. And put a a layer of protective something over it. You can probably tell from the mess of paint on my desk. I have a airbrush, and one of the best advantages to having an airbrush is the fact I can use dedicated primers designed for the airbrushes, such as the Vallejo surface primer stuff, which is really, really good because it's polyurethane. Polyurethane is the kind of stuff they put into the paint that they put on the back of flatbed trucks to, protect the inside of the beds from being scratched and damaged. And it's very, very tough stuff and very difficult to actually remove from a model, but can be applied really nicely through an airbrush. Like, even if you don't end up learning how to paint with an airbrush properly, it's still a pretty handy tool to have at your disposal, just for the sake of priming minis quickly. And then for the example of Ikit Claw here, what I've done is if you look at it from this angle, you can see it's mostly black. And that's because the model was primed using a black primer. Then what I've done over the top of it is used some white ink through the airbrush, spraying down at an angle like this to naturally create the highlights and shadows, so that when I go to paint with contrast paint, there will be already some pre-established contrast to help make the overall model pop and have a lot more shading and highlights and details that otherwise would not be there. And, you know, it was just a quick 2-minute job with the airbrush. You can get the exact same effect using white paint and a dry brush as well. Yeah, so the grey stuff I had was also Vallejo, and it sucked pretty badly as well, Kermit. The brown surface primer and the gloss black surface primer have been really good for me. He says, I have a question for you, even though I may not like Battletech's lore. You haven't read it properly then yet. Is my answer to that one. Shall I still play Battletech for the mechs? I like the mechs. Yes. Big stompy robots are a lot of fun, and they look really cool. And the Battletech lore is so comprehensive and so expansive. There will be something you like in Battletech. I can guarantee it. I quite like the Scoofy guy because he has a skull for a face. Actual face has disappeared. Skull now. So what you can't see is just off to the side here. Here's some of my Battletech minis. As I'm keeping the Jade Falcon mechs out on display to remind myself to actually finish painting them at some point, so I don't leave my desk. Yeah, and MechWarrior 5 has been by far my favourite video game to stream, because it's a lot of fun to play with other people, and the lore and the gameplay itself is just so infinitely rewarding. I genuinely smile every time I think of that one fucking chain of missions we did, where we had to sabotage the Lyran Commonwealth's baseball team by, you know, trying to stage terrorist attacks to draw out the military-serving members of that baseball team. Like, but the fact, you know, people were willing to hire a group of mercenaries to sabotage and ruin the potential baseball team of a military unit by trying to get us to start a war in order to get the baseball players on that military unit's team killed is just so silly and funny. I think that doesn't quite top the fact that Clan Ghost Bear was able to take a planet by playing American football, but it's pretty close. That is one of my favourite little bits of lore as well. Yeah, so the thing with Battletech is it's always been focused on human conflict. It's why it's only set 1,000 years into the future. And has only really technologically progressed for about 50 years. About 500, sorry. Oh yeah, no, we failed in the baseball mission spectacularly because all we did was actually drum up more support for the Lyran Commonwealth baseball team. There we go. A 10-man regiment of plague censer bearers. And I think, whilst I have actually managed to make it work, you guys can probably understand why they have moved away from 20mm bases. Because it does look a little silly by these days standards, doesn't it? How tightly packed those 10 rats are. And Hamish, those all sound like excellent options. It would definitely make the smaller blast templates feel a bit more useful, wouldn't it? You'll like playing against Solar Auxilia. And catch you later, Herm. Have a good one. Yeah, and that's fine, Hugh. You're allowed to have an opinion. And yeah, I think my opinion on my opinion, therefore, is that honestly, if you feel like just the lack of aliens or supernatural is something which limits your ability to enjoy something, you might need to reflect on what it is you enjoy about stuff a bit more, as you are greatly limiting yourself in terms of like what stuff you can actually explore and find interesting. As hell, look at me. It's like I'm a Warhammer Fantasy player at heart. Warhammer Fantasy and like fantasy style settings have always been my main thing, and always been the thing I've enjoyed the most. Right, I like good and evil, light and dark stuff. But I've also, you know, found a great appreciation and love for BattleTech, even though it doesn't really fit into the style of things I'd normally enjoy. Like, one of the main reasons I got into Warhammer 40k in the first place was because I just wanted something similar to fantasy to carry on with. As the game became less and less popular before the end times. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do now. We could carry on building some regular plague monks, I guess. How long have we actually been streaming for? There's still time. Actually, that's the point. I can show you some skaven I painted many moons ago. This is one of the rat ogres from the Island of Blood box. One which I painted a very long time ago. I'm not quite sure how many years ago. It was a lot of fun to paint back then. I'm really hoping this box gets a re-release. Even if it's like a limited edition run. The Island of Blood was such a fantastic starter box. Had some really cool looking Skaven models in it. And high elf models as well. Battletech definitely gets dark. The darkness just comes from, you know, the horrific things humanity's willing to do to one another, rather than just, you know, doing it to aliens, or aliens doing it to humans. There are some truly fucked up things that happen in the Battletech universe. And a lot of horror-related stuff as well that happens in Battletech universe. Hey Vincent, how's it going? And I'm glad the word of the Jade Falcon, funnily enough, has got around enough for people to be popping by. And I'm glad you have. Welcome on in. Oh yeah, this is one of the last skaven models I painted before we embarked on this project. This is my Deathmaster Snitch model, and still to this day one of the best looking models, I think. I just love the dynamic pose. I love the ridiculously stylized like flow to the cape. 3 murderous claws. And thank you for subscribing, Vincent. And of course I painted the base Goblin Green. And it is actual Goblin Green, by the way. I still have a pot of it. But yeah, I absolutely love my Snitch model. Very happy with how he turned out. Yeah, speaking of the Island of Blood box, this is a chieftain in it. Unfortunately, his weapon snapped, so I've recently replaced the blades with ones from the clan rats in the that we've been building recently. So I need to repaint those, but yeah, this is a model I painted years ago as well. For my from the Island of Blood, and it's just such a great posed model. Like he just commands the correct level of elevation and authority as part of a fantasy army. Like when he is, you know, joined to a unit, the fact he stood on that rock really helps him stand out and look good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to restoring him. Still very proud of how well the fire turned out, even though I was like, what? 16 at the time, I think? It's not to say I was, you know, a master painter back then, by any means. I just managed to really nail down and learn how to paint Skaven properly, as this is one of the Swordmaster of Hoeth models from the same starter box. And yeah, I just couldn't get on with painting it, and just really didn't enjoy painting it, so I just kind of gave up and left it how it is. And yes, the sword is ridiculously bent because of how easy they were to break. But, you know, I wasn't always, you know, good at painting minis. And this Swordmaster kind of exists to remind me of that. mean, at least the paint's in the correct places, but yeah, wasn't very good at painting. So I also did something really annoying, which, you know, continues to annoy me to this day whenever I've had to, like, try and restore an older model. Which I kept using hard coat to thin down glosses and, well, to, thin down varnish, washes. And it just kept ruining every model I painted, which is a really dumb thing. I don't understand why I did that when I was younger. But hey. I was smart enough not to do it to my Skaven models, so there's a slightly larger collection of my old Skaven models that look good. Still need to find the Packmaster at some point. That'll be a fun one to rediscover. What do I think of anime? It's a really difficult one to give an opinion on, because as far as I'm concerned, anime is an animation style rather than its own like category of things, because the sheer volume of like cartoons done in an anime style is so broad, varied, that it's, other than the fact, you know, they were hand animated, well, animated in Japan, that's the only thing that really ties anime together. So it's pretty difficult to say, yes, I like anime, or no, I don't like anime, because that's like saying, do I like animated films or not? There are particular animes I really enjoy. But yeah, I will also take this opportunity to remind people to like the stream if you have liked it and enjoyed it. Helps give me a metric in which to actually see if people are enjoying these kinds of streams. And also, if you are new around here and you do enjoy these streams and you do enjoy my YouTube videos, remember to consider subscribing. And follow what Vincent did. And be an awesome person and subscribe. One of the goals I do have for this year is to try and get the channel monetized. We're about a third of the way there already, which is quite nice considering I only really decided that I'm going to truly commit to this goal like a month or so ago. So we're doing incredibly well in that regards. But yes, also, the main platform in which I do stream on, as Kermit has pointed out, is Twitch. At the moment, we're streaming on YouTube, because I've been having connectivity issues to Twitch, but I am a Twitch affiliate, and Twitch is the main platform I do stream on. It's the exact same content over there, just a little bit more interactive, because Twitch has more features in that regards. And yeah, if you do really enjoy this content and you do want to help, you know, continue to support and make this possible, consider supporting me via Ko-fi. It's the best way and most direct way to support any creator if they do use Ko-fi, as Ko-fi don't take an excessive fee like Patreon, Twitch, or YouTube does. So if you would want to consider supporting the channel somehow, maybe paying for the correct size bases for my skaven, or you just want to buy me a coffee or an energy drink, or you perhaps want to help me upgrade my PC so I don't have the really weird issues that plagued us to the beginning of the stream, consider doing it via Ko-fi. Like with most things on the channel, you can find a link to Ko-fi by typing in !Ko-fi into chat. Yeah, obviously no one's required to help me. This is a free broadcast, but if you do want to help out and you do want to share some love, then that's the best way to do it. And also help make that progress bar at the top pick up. Once we get there, I will be painting and assembling 2 Space Marine armies to be given to a local after-school kids club, so that kids can enjoy playing Warhammer without the costs of having to buy Warhammer. And what we'll be doing is we'll be painting up a Rainbow Warriors and a Black Templar army, one of each army, to give to a local after-school kids club, and we'll be doing that on live streams, documenting it, showing off how I'd paint the various armies, and it's going to be good fun once we reach that goal. Although with 10th edition around the corner, we're probably going to have to readjust the lists to make them still balanced against each other. But yeah, we'll have fun. Oh, and final thing when it comes to shilling. Join the Discord server if you haven't already done so. Especially as we're going between platforms at the moment. The most reliable way to get notified as to when I'm streaming and what I'm streaming is the Discord server. That's another one of those ones with a command in chat, which is !Discord. It'll give you a link. And yeah, what I normally do with the streams, and which happened today actually, is I put up a poll during the day asking you guys, what would you like to see me do in the evenings? Would you like to see me build some models, play some video games, sit here and chat? You'll get a bunch of options to vote on in the Discord server, and I will do whatever is voted for. A very simple system, and one which I think a lot of people enjoy. So if you really want to see me play Total War Warhammer, vote for it when it's an option. Want to see me play Mech Warrior 5? Again, that's an option. Want to see me paint for Jade Falcons? You can make me suffer by voting for that as well. Today was overwhelmingly in favour of me building some Skaven, so that's why we're doing it tonight. But yeah, when you join the Discord server, make sure to read the welcome and rules channel. At the bottom of that, there is an piece of instructions to tell you how to actually access the rest of the Discord server. And it's important to read that and follow the instruction clearly. It's a very simple one, but it keeps all the bots out. So make sure not to get tripped up over that one. And it's a good thing these guys aren't sticking to their bases. Annoying for trying to hold them up to show them on stream. A handy thing for when it comes to rebasing them later. Right, we're almost coming up to a 2-hour mark. I do try to keep these streams to being 2 hours long, so probably will start wrapping it up now as well, as a new song kicks in. But yeah, no, this has been a very nice, productive little evening stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I suppose just an extra note for those who have joined the Discord server. check out the role selection channel once you're in, and make sure to assign yourself the tags for relevant categories, as they are ones you have to sign in up for in order to get access to, just to keep the Discord server from being bloated with too many channels. If you're interested in the old world, there's an old world category. If you're interested in Age of Sigmar, there's not a category. But yeah, you get the idea. Oh, sorry about that. And Hugh, on Friday, the stream that we do will be MechWarrior 5. It's one of the only streams which is ever planned out. We play MechWarrior 5 with chat, as it's a co-op game. So if you are interested in seeing what Battletech is like from the perspective of a video game, it's definitely worth popping in on Friday to have a look at the stream, as we will be playing MechWarrior 5. And yeah, no, I have a lot of things to thank Mechanical Frog for. It will be the same time every night, so I try to stream from 9 PM to 11 PM British summertime, although there's been a couple of nights now where we started at past. So I try to stream for 2 hours around this time of these last couple of hours. But yeah, I stream every single day around this time, unless I'm ill or something very important pops up. Oh yeah, Vincent, can you do me a favour on that note? But I don't want this to sound schemy in any way, but make sure to let Mechanical Frog know that you enjoyed the stream here, and that you're thankful that he pushed you in the direction of checking out my stuff. Warhammer lore will be my favourite setting, and Battletech could be another favourite. Yeah, honestly, Battletech has been one of those things that really snuck up on me. So when it comes to playing video games, one of the first video games I really ever sat down and properly played and like spent thousands of hours in was World of Tanks. Trust me, this is related. And it's one of those free-to-play games I just grinded a lot, and it got to a point where playing World of Tanks, it got to a point where there was a financial barrier to the free-to-play game as it became more and more pay-to-win. There came a point where I could not get any better at the game unless I started throwing serious amounts of money at it. So I started to look at other video games, and one which stood out to me and one I kept trying to play was MechWarrior Online. And it's just one which, at the time, didn't click for me. And I'm really not sure why. And around that time as well, I'd been spending more and more time playing Warhammer and at my local hobby store. And I kept wondering, why are they of these vehicles and these robots on hexagonal bases? I'd never really seen that before, and I never really picked up or had to look at any of those models in the store. And to this day, those two decisions have been massively regretful to me. I have been kicking myself since that I didn't pick up those models, and that I didn't commit to playing MechWarrior Online, because I missed out on learning what Battletech was actually like, and a setting and a game which I really enjoy. because I just didn't spend the time. I didn't have the patience to actually sit down and check out what the video game, which I now play a lot of, funnily enough, and the miniatures which I ignored were actually for. And yeah, no, so on that note, Kermit, is I love the wargaming community. You know, the fact that Mechanical Frog and Leaky Cheese are two content creators who are basically the main reason why I'm still doing content creation or gave it any serious push. The constant support and the friendships I've developed with those two are one of the main reasons why I'm really doing this. To be honest, it started a little bit out of spite towards Chapter Master Valrak, because there are creative disagreements I have with the way he does his content and his streams, and that was the motivation for me to start streaming and start making my own YouTube videos. But it really was Mechanical Frog and Leaky Cheese who really pushed me to start doing it properly and trying to make it into a thing. Just seeing how much Mechanical Frog enjoys streaming and how much he, you know, does it, and how much it means to him, and how much he's grown, and just the brilliant content he makes. And yeah, obviously, Big Red is someone I'd consider a friend as well, and someone I really enjoy the company of. And I still would like to take credit for being responsible for pushing Big Red to making Battletech content on YouTube, because I refused to not talk about Battletech in all of his streams. It became a meme in the early days of Big Red's channel, the word of Tuppy. As for those who know, when it comes to Battletech, I really like Comstar and I really like the word of Blake. And we had a joke faction created in the early days of Big Red's channel, which was the word of Tuppy, because all I do was talk Battletech to Big Red in his live streams and encourage him to, you know, talk more and more about Battletech and less about 40k, because I didn't enjoy how much Big Red didn't enjoy Warhammer. So I was like, okay, right, I'm going to make it my mission to talk as much Battletech as possible, to try and goad him into actually doing Battletech stuff. And it worked, because it basically started a self-perpetual meme. It was like, talking about word of Tuppy, what the fuck is a word of Tuppy? What is a word of Blake? What is Comstar? What is a Battletech? And it just made this self-feedback loop of people, you know, learning about it, talking about it, new people coming in, getting really confused about what is this thing they're talking about in this 40k stream. And it just snowballed to a point where people were like, Red, do some Battletech videos, please. We need to know more. And the rest, as I say, is history. And yeah, I'm quite proud of that. Okay, so the Word of Blake is a religious order that exists in the Battletech universe. Kind of think like the Inquisition and the Mechanicum and the High Lords of Terror all rolled into one faction. Comstar is a company which controls Terra, as in the planet Terra, Earth, in the Battletech universe, and they control the HPG network, which is the Faster Than Light communications network, which basically is like the phone company of the Battletech universe. They also control the banks as well, and they do it to basically be a neutral party to the Inner Sphere successor states of the various different territories that make up the Battletech map, as an independent force who controls it all, so that no one great power can have, control over communications or the financial system. And they protect all of this, all of their technology by worshipping it. They fabricated a religion focused around their all the tech, and that religion is called the Word of Blake, named after Jerome Blake, the guy who set up the Comstar as a company in the first place. And yeah, it's basically the Mechanicum. They even have really cool robes and stuff. So yeah, you have that side of things in BattleTech as well, and I really like Comstar because they themselves have grand aspirations to take over the entirety of the BattleTech universe, which is referred to as the Inner Sphere, by the way. And how they've been doing it is basically by trying to stealthily manipulate things, because obviously they control the communications network. They see and hear everything that goes on throughout the entirety of the Inner Sphere, and they've been manipulating things, hiding in the shadows, changing and twisting things. It's like making that very, very important message, that that message from an army commander that needs to reach that one distant regiment in a very timely manner, delayed, so that they don't get that timely message in the right time, leading to that regiment collapsing or being ambushed. Changing the course of history subtly and covertly from the background in order to try and manipulate things to be in their favor. It's just really cool, basically. It's just a fun idea that these religious weirdos basically have all of this power and no one really noticed until it was too late as well. No, I love Comstar a lot. They're by far my favorite faction, and following the collapse of following the collapse of Comstar, then my favorite faction is Word of Blake, which is when Comstar basically tried to get rid of all the religious weirdos inside the company, and the religious weirdos went off and made their own faction. Basically set the entire Inner Sphere on nuclear fire, because they didn't get what they wanted, as was preached in their holy words. They were denied their destiny by the ignorant fools of the Inner Sphere, and so the entirety of the Inner Sphere must burn. Oh yeah, no. I love them. I love the Word of Blake so much. No, this is this here. That's a continuous one from when I was building my clan rats, because I have spears. Thankfully, I haven't stabbed myself today with any of the minis. By the way, did anyone notice suggestion algorithm actually being helpful lately, a week or so? I've seen a lot of cool, smaller YouTube channels on my homepages of usual big players. Yes, actually. I've noticed it too. There have been a lot of video essays and content which I actually kind of enjoy being promoted recently, which is nice to see. Oh look, the Jade Falcon has arrived. How's it going, Mechanical Frog? Well, actually, that's a point, Mechanical Frog. Are you planning on streaming soon? Because it's around time I actually should wrap up this stream here. I'll wait and see what Mechanical Frog has to say before I start signing off. But yeah, no, generally speaking, I've just been in such a better mindset since coming back to live streaming and doing content creation stuff. I really burnt myself out. I think the stress of just, you know, content being difficult to make with Twitch continuously disconnecting me really kind of got to me. But you know, the breaks I've had when it comes to my YouTube videos doing fairly well has honestly been such a morale boost for me. Been really nice to see. And then also, you know, you guys, the newer people who are popping in and saying hello. Like obviously a bunch of you guys I'm familiar with and talked to in the past, but you know, it's nice to actually hang out with you guys a bit in these live streams. Obviously I've missed you, Hugh, a lot. We used to talk quite a bit in Valrak streams, so it's nice to be able to catch up and talk with you again as well. Also you, Kermit, as well, for Big Red's streams. Unfortunately, he streams hours which are really just not suited to my day-to-day anymore, which is a shame, because I really enjoy hanging out with Big Red. But no, I have a 9-to-5 job as a day job, so I can't stay up ridiculously late anymore like I used to. But yeah, no. What I think I'll do now is I'll wrap up the stream and say the usual goodbyes. So yeah, as always guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, remember to hit the like button. It won't exactly help boost me in the algorithm today, but you know, it's really good to see. It's a good way to show your support to me. I was going to get onto that, but thank you for following over on Twitch. And yeah, if you are new here, make sure to hit subscribe as well. I try and do weekly videos. Sometimes there might be more, sometimes it might be slightly longer than a week between videos. And yeah, like I've said during the stream as well, I normally stream on Twitch. So if you want to follow me on my streams in the future, make sure to check out my Twitch channel and give me a follow over there. It's the best way to actually, you know, watch streams, so when we do go back to doing those next week, that's where you should go. And yeah, the main one, the single best thing you can do is join the Discord server. Obviously if you have Discord, that is. It's a great place to hang out with the community. Everyone you've been talking to in chat is over there pretty much. So if there's people you've enjoyed the company of in chat, or if you just want to talk with me, you can do it over on Discord. My DMs are open, so if you do want to talk with me directly, you can. I'm always happy to have conversations and stuff as long as I'm awake and not busy. And finally, if you do want to support the channel and help, you know, help me buy the hobbying equipment and like the models and stuff to show off on these streams, or you want to help me fix my PC so we have less mechanical issues, consider supporting me via Ko-fi. The link is on the screen in the bottom corner, but you can also type in !Ko-fi into the chat if you want a direct link, to save you typing it out as well. Doing things like that will massively help me out, and that kind of support is just invaluable to me. But obviously it's not required in any way, but is greatly appreciated. But yes, with that all said and done, thank you so much for hanging out here and enjoying the stream. It's been a really nice chill evening. The sensor bearers are finally off the bucket list of skaven units for me to build. Tomorrow I'm not sure what we'll be doing, as it'll be up to the people on the Discord server to vote. But in any case, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as well. And on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.